Hello everybody. Earlier on in the year I posted a video showing me chopping back this tree, and this is a large birch, and I'm going to be working on it today. I'm going to actually do the repot that I said I was going to do in that video. Okay, so let's get you in a little bit closer so you can see the root base before we do that. Really quite pleased with the root base. It's not a perfect radial root, which is ideal, but it certainly has a chunky look to it that says, I'm rooted here in this earth, this is my piece of ground, and I ain't moving for nobody. So yeah, I'm going to try and raise it up a little bit if I can out of the pot during this repot. But we'll see how we go and how we get on with that as we get it out of the pot. Got my tray containing the mess, and then that's how good it looks. Hopefully will come out relatively easily. I say relatively, we're caught up on the drainage screens. There we go, and they've actually stayed in position, which is always nice. I've got a wet rag, so I'm going to give the pot a bit of a clean before we tackle those roots. They won't dry out whilst they're all in a bunch like that, so it's better to clean it first. It's a lovely little cream pot. I like these scalloped corners. Quite elegant with a birch. I think when the birch finally turns it sort of silvery grey, which is, it hasn't yet, but it will given time. It'll be quite nicely set off by the cream of this pot, I think. Right, now that we can start looking at these roots. As I say, I want to try and take off some of the surface because I'd like to expose these roots a little more, and that's something I can maybe do a little bit each time I repot, and we'll gradually get this sort of root base rising up out of the soil level. Strange bit of dead root there. Wherever that came from, it hasn't affected the tree health any, so that's a good thing. So I didn't think of this before, but I've actually put the tray on the turntable, and I can actually move it around a bit, but if I do that entirely you won't be able to see. So this is also getting rid of some weeds, like so, and this moss that's stubbornly growing on the roots, even though I told it not to. I specifically told it not to do that, but there you are. Okay, so that's looking good. Continue to chase that root out. That's much better. So I'll bring it back to my front. You can see the roots are now on show more, which is nice. And I'm not going to completely bare root this tree. Obviously I've no wish to try and work on the roots to make them in any better of a radial pattern or anything. All I need to do is to reduce the root bowl so that I can get some new soil in and some fertilizer and give this tree room to grow some more. It absolutely has filled this pot with roots. Birch can be very vigorous growers. They're known for colonising new areas and getting in first, and getting their heads up into the light first. So that really makes them, really quite vigorous growers to be able to do that and to outcompete other species. So they're also very short-lived, so what they tend to provide some protection during their growing phase for other trees who can then take over as the birch die off again, at which point, in theory, the birch has continued to move on to pastures new further afield. Anyway, I'll shut up and repot and speed this up so it's not too boring for you. So there we go, that's reduced the root ball considerably, but of course in that previous video, which is in the playlist, you'll note that I already reduced the top quite considerably. So I'm going to get it back into its pot, and then that'll be set up for the year. Okay, so you can probably see I've not kind of chopped it uniformly around, but that's because I want to keep this surface root and this surface root, which actually goes almost out to the edge of the pot, but I still want to give the roots room to manoeuvre. So by making it not a square uniform cut, then that's allowed to keeping those roots and giving extra space. So we're getting a layer of soil. In the centre of the pot. And you will note that this tree is actually quite central in this pot, which I know some people don't like. But I think because it's not a square pot or a rectangular pot, because it's got these scalloped edges, it works with my eye, which is of course the main arbiter of whether something looks nice or not. It has to be my eye because I'm the person who has to look at it every day when I water it, as opposed to anybody else's really. You've only got to look at this video once. If you don't like it, you never have to see it again. Whereas as I say, this tree's going to need watering every day for the rest of its life. And although I can always do a major redesign at some point or put it in a different pot, for now this is the chosen placement. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And I should have eliminated any air gaps by squashing it down into the soil. So now we just need to get filled in all around it. But before I do that, I really forgot to put in the controlled release fertilizer all the way around. And a little bit underneath for good measure. And then we'll get it filled in around. Okay, so there we are. Obviously it needs a drink now, but it's had its root pruning and it's all back in the pot, ready for spring. We do have kind of a second leader here, but that's going to help heal this wound. So I'm going to leave it on for now at least. And there we go. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. It is much appreciated. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. Stay safe, everybody.